Earlier today, I was having a conversation with a certain friend of mine. Me and this friend went to the same school back in the days. And this conversation brought back a lot of memories, you know. My mom used to be a teacher, and she was teaching at the same school that me and this friend went to. And this friend of mine was telling me that apparently my mom used to be her favorite teacher. Okay. However, she also mentioned something that was so funny, and this was the part that actually brought back a lot of memories. She told me that it felt like every term, there was this time around the term, especially when we were about to do exams, that it seemed like every teacher was so mad, so pissed for no good reason. And I was like, you think? But come to think of it, back when my mom was teaching, she had 2 classes and she was teaching 2 different subjects, okay? So when it's time for assessment, like now she has to prepare exams for 2 classes, 2 different subjects. So she has to prepare exams from the scratch, which means looking for questions that will fit that assessment, and then now write the exams and maybe print it, and then now after the exams, she has to mark the papers and prepare the results and all that. And now, that does not mean that she stopped teaching. She has to do that, but also get into classes while during the preparations and still teach. You can see how that is a lot here. So I was wondering, what would happen, how the experience would have been if my mom was a teacher today, at an era that we have things like academia, system that actually loves teachers back. Academia has a feature called Question Bank and also has a feature called Exam Generator. So what this means is even if a teacher has, let's say, 4 classes and maybe this teacher is teaching 3 different subjects, when you're teaching a certain subject in a certain class and you see a question that you think, this can fit in a certain exam, you can just go to the question bank and store your questions. As you're teaching, you store the questions. When now it's time to generate exams, you just go back to your bank of questions, and then you customize your exam, and then you generate exam. Like, this process is just gonna take you literally maybe 10 minutes, I don't know, or maybe less. So I was thinking, what would happen if my mom was a teacher at an era like this? How would the experience be? It must be nice, man. What do you think?